Hello folks, I'm AyeforScotland. We are jumping back into the Roottrees are dead. All that's changed since the end of the last video is that I went and did a piss. So I'm now back and I'm ready to play more. Very much enjoyed the first hour that we'd played there. We are gonna see if we can solve some more stuff. I've just noticed that I can inspect the walls. Notorious Mountjoys. Mystery Comics. Can I go outside? No, I can't. Okay. Anyway, back to the wall. Let's see. So we've got a couple down. We were able to get LaRue, Diamond LaRue, got James Roottrees, got Carl, basically got the identity of all the dead people. We don't have another photo of Raina just yet. It's interesting that that's still wrong. I think we're going to have to change that up a little bit. So, where are we at? We had Lauren Roottrees speaking to someone about being like an only child. So complaints. Gwen, so seems everyone has something to complain about. Gwen, as an only child, complained of loneliness. I told her that being expected to watch after 3 younger brothers didn't feel like a blessing, but it fell on deaf ears. During the summer where I went to stay with her and Aunt Margot, I hoped she would be the sister I never had and that I'd do the same for her. Even tried to dye my hair blonde to fit in with the two of them. What a mess, but she just complained. To her, I was the lucky cousin. Now she's off living the glamorous life while I'm stuck here with Clark. I must admit, seeing her everywhere contributes to my unhappiness. Her visage stares at me even now from my coffee table. She gets to be the starlet and tell tales of how she gallivants around the world, kissing the likes of Harrison Lane and Wild Bill Williams. She's the first Roottrees woman to be anything other than a housewife, and I am jealous. If I were not a single mother, could I make my own way in this world? But I'm off topic. A girl with all the luck in the world was jealous of me, and now, though I have been undoubtedly burned by a terrible tragedy, I am also lucky to be born into a family that can support me for eternity, can raise a child without worry, unlike countless other widows. If any of them were to hear me complaining, they would rightfully scoff just like I do at Gwen. Now, Gwen is... yeah, sorry, that's Gwen. Yeah. Now, Aunt Margot is... her then. I believe. Yeah, because Margot's a Roottrees, and she was a housewife, but we don't have a photo of her just yet. So that's a good link made there. We'll continue reading this because it's quite... I feel like there's tons in here. So, an entry entitled Dynasty from Lauren Roottrees' diary, written in 1958, focuses on the day her grandfather Elias announced he would step down as president of the Roottrees Candy Company and the meeting to determine his successor. I wish I'd been a fly on the wall today. Clancy told me that everyone got quite heated. Grandad was furious. None of his sons would take over as president, but that's what he gets for holding on to it for so long. With architects, preachers and lawyers, nobody's got time for candy. So with the 5Pieces refusing to step up, it came down to us next gens. Pop argued at length that the company should stay with our branch of the family since we still have the Roottrees name. I'm not even sure Clancy would have wanted it, but he's the one who was volunteered. Instead it ended up going to Zach. Even though his surname doesn't match the candy, he's the firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. I'm not sure how that's relevant to running a company. Grandad always had very particular views when it came to his bloodline. I asked Clancy if it ever came up that a woman could take over. After all, Angie's older than Zach and I'm the next oldest of us all, but he just laughed. I'll never forget the cuss words Pop used when he told Ma it wouldn't go to us. Mother, ever the quick-witted, at least with the catty remarks, countered back, maybe they wanted it to go to the only member of the family who looks like he samples the product. Okay. Right, there are quite a lot of names in there that I'm not quite so... Architects, preachers and lawyers. Nobody's got time for candy. So those are the jobs of the 5 pieces. So 5 pieces, jobs, architect, creatures, lawyer, and I imagine there'll be a housewife in there because the oldest daughter was one. We'll save that note. So, back to the tree, and she's saying that Pop. Okay, so there's... Don't know who that is the only thing. Okay, back to this. Clancy's the brother of her, right? Yeah, brother Clancy for Lauren. But she's got 3 brothers. Okay. We'll continue. Sam. An entry entitled Sam from Lon Roottrees' diary, written in 1963. From a previous entry, you'll learn that Elias Rootree had given in to his wife and announced that Sam, an obscure relative, was to be included in family gatherings. Gwyneth had been pushing to include Sam for quite some time. Lon writes, "Why Sam? I have many distant relatives I've never met. After all, Granny had 2 sisters, Grandad had a brother or 2, but I was told trim their branches from the family tree, so why is Sam special? Nothing adds up, and I'm not the only one to realise." Angie summoned all of the next gens to a secret meeting in Zach's office. Gwyn's in Paris, but the rest of us, including Miracle's boys, spent ages trying to unravel the mystery. I didn't recognise Sam at Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. At the reception, when I asked who Sam was, Pop shushed me and told me it was complicated. Clancy swore he saw Sam working alongside the farmhands, EC and John when he used to drive past the old Anderson farm on his way to work. Upon hearing that, Zach checked the records and managed to confirm all 3 are on the books. Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother, even chimed in. Apparently when he was riding his mini bike along the farm a few weeks ago, Sam gave him some old tools and taught him how to make the bike's engine faster. None of us think that proper for a multitude of reasons, but Eli certainly seemed thrilled. At the end of the day, nothing explains why an outsider is cozied into family affairs, especially one who works on the farm of all places. Whatever happens to blood's thicker than syrup, why is Grandad making an exception now? I feel like that one's absolutely jam-packed with tons, but I don't know enough about the broader family yet to really delve into that. One of the final entries, called Clark from Lon Roottrees' diary in 1964. Clark's getting married and, in my opinion, far too young. He's barely 18, for God's sake. Danielle isn't much older. Openly confronting them would make me a hypocrite. After all, Jacob and I got married at 16. Clark, like the rest of his generation, is a free spirit. What else do you call a group of kids growing up with more money than any one person can spend? They all aspire to be musicians and artists and dancers and all that nonsense. The only one who has any discipline is Carol, but that's because Pop forced Clancy to send him to the academy. So Clancy is Carol's dad. And there's a Clancy Edward and a Clancy Jr. I'm going to take a stab that it's a Clancy Jr. And then from the surnames here, Danielle. So that'll be his first marriage. This is Clark, obviously. Don't know what his occupation is. Danielle Franks will be the first, and they split up. It'd be interesting if it was split up versus divorced, but they all seem to be split up, so... maybe I'm just getting old, but our generation was never so bad. My brothers all seemed to pursue paths of knowledge, and the most rebellious thing any of us ever did was to bring home someone who would be illegal to marry if we lived anywhere south of Pennsylvania. Okay. Okay. Okay, oh god, okay. Pop seems to have gotten over it because Edward is set to take over his department once he retires. As for me, my first published book, Swashbuckle My Heart, is based on the pirate stories I used to invent with Jacob when we were walking in the woods after school. I think he'd be proud that Clark and I are carrying on his name. Might as well have a wee look at this. We'll see if the library has anything. Let's go. And we're going with Lauren Roottrees. So she might have published that under Rafferty, actually. No copies available, re-released as X marks the spot. So we take X marks the spot. If it's re-released, it might be under Lauren Roottrees. Okay, that's clever. According to the back of the book, this is a buried treasure by Lauren Roottrees, and from the author of the court series, it also says to keep an eye out for Lauren Roottrees' next book, revisiting the diary 10 years later. Interesting. Oh, I like that we're following down this little path here. This was a version of Lauren Roottrees' diary released in 1975. Unlike the original diary, it contains no pictures, has many new passages that reflect on her thoughts 10 years later. One major event happened between releases that changed Lauren's outlook on certain subjects, the death of Elias. Summary of the fallout has been added to your notes, as well as some other select pages. Nice. That was good to be able to dive into. Yeah, so swashbuckle my heart. Yep, even my cousins are doing well. Zach's not a bad president after all. His sister seems to be doing a good job raising her twins. Gwen is Gwen, but at least she came out of the divorce with her head held high. She even told us she might come home next year so we can meet her kids. The free spirits and any other family, they'd all end up on the streets, even Clark. Okay. So Zach's not a bad president. So Zach is somewhere. I don't know where Zach is placed here. Also, Roottrees wise, we've not looked up Miracle Jr. yet. We've got a ton of photos as well. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Here's a bonus. When I pulled the water damage picture of the free spirits out of the frame, this fell too. Written on the back of the photo is, couldn't make the reunion, wishing you well from Paris, Gwen and the boys. Okay, so we've got a photo, another photo for Gwen and her sons. I wonder what's going on here. I'm just going to chuck these in at the moment, just so we've got them placed. Don't know who she married. Okay, well, we'll figure it out. Back to the evidence board. This photo was tucked inside an envelope with a letter beneath a candle in the corner of his office. The letter says, to Carl and Brenda, I'm sorry that you were unable to attend the funeral. It's traditional to have it as soon as possible, and Ernie, more than anyone else on earth, knew how busy your job can be. I've enclosed the Shiva candle, identical to ours if you'd like to pay your respects, though it's not expected for those outside of the faith to do so. Ernie was a man full of love, not only for his family, but for his family's legacy. He had an immense amount of pride for the work you three did together, as well as how Carl has carried on for years, has carried on for him after taking over. As for myself, it's impossible to express my gratitude enough for rescuing us from the panic and burden of endless bills. Though we caught it too late for him to get on the donor list, the company took care of us beyond our wildest expectations. Went unsaid at the time, but Ernie and I knew it had to have been Carl that convinced the trust, and it was no coincidence that it happened shortly after your visit, Brenda. Up until the end, Ernie and I had to stay strong, especially for Nicole's sake. We could never have done that without the two of you fighting for us. Much love, Debbie. Okay, I feel like that's a later thing. Lauren's diary contains some labelled pictures. This is the 5 Pieces. Okay. This picture was famous in our house. Pop even had it framed. That's him on the left. It was taken in 1935 to celebrate the move to the new warehouse that Eli Jr. designed. Angie and I both wanted to be in the photo since Miracle was in it, and the three of us were all about the same age. We were told only the 5 Pieces, which really didn't go over well, to say the least. Eventually, I suppose, to stop the tantrums, they posed us in front of the camera with Mr. Morden, who was there with Aunt Gwendolyn. I found out years later that they never even took a second photo. Okay, so this is the 5. Okay, so we will come to that. Oh, fucking Jesus. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Every 20 or so years, the Roottrees would hold a big reunion and recreate an old family photo. This is the one from the 70s, and Carol's the teenager in the middle. Sorry about the water damage, a pipe burst in Carol's office. On the back of the photo, in childish print writing, it says November. There are a large number of cursive signatures that include Bonnie, next President Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Caroline, Gwyneth M., Gwendolyn, Miracle Jr., Jim Rootree, Clark, Carol, and Eli M. Holy mackerel. Okay, there's going to be a lot more photos. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be a tricky one to do, but those are the free spirits. And we do have the signatures for them all, so we'll get to that at some point. Okay, this is just an update on the client returns, that's fine. Vote for Stephanie Jones for City Council, better for Butler County. This was buried under a ton of mail that Carl left in his inbox. There's a handwritten note attached that seemed personal. Flyer about a candidate for local office, Stephanie Jones. On the back is an excerpt from a newspaper article from the Butler County Times. Stephanie may have grown up in an unconventional family, to say the least, but in her words, it was still full of love. Now, 22 years later, with a baby of her own due around Christmas, our message for voters is simply, love is our future. Handwritten note says, Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to the candy company. If you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie, she could use the publicity your daughters bring. Don't let our conflicts spread to the next generation. Okay. And... oh, this is revisiting that. Fuck. Hold on. Going to check this one. So this is Lauren's diary, contains some labelled pictures. This is the next generation. Caption: an attempt to recapture the spirit of the 5Pieces photos with our generation. For old time's sake, we gathered on the warehouse floor. I wanted Eli to stand all the way to the left, since to me he looked a lot like Pop did in the old one. But I was outvoted by my brothers. They insisted the four of us stand together, so we clumped up in the middle and let everyone filter in behind and in front of us. The only one too good to make an appearance was Gwyn. Grandma insisted we include Sam, even if we didn't want to. None of us understood why, including Sam. I also didn't think it fair Miracle made it in, since he's technically a 5-piece. I guess my inner child still holds a grudge even after all these years. We're going to have so many photos that it's real. I've made a crucial mistake here. I'm diluting the photo pool. I'm going to have to really scan through it again. Anyway, revisiting the diary, and there is a lot of speaking here, so I'm going to be careful and make sure I'm drinking plenty of water. The new diary opens with an explosive incident that happened in the decade between the release and re-release of Lauren's diary. Elias Rootree had died. During the reading of his will, there was an audible gasp when a certain name was read aloud, Samantha Rootree. Although Sam and her children were not meant to receive monetary inheritance, he had a stipulation that she retain the rights to run the farm and any and all decisions related to it. It was then that the scandalous secrets came out. None of the 5Pieces were surprised. It was quite a shock to everyone else, including Sam. She'd been told her parents died. Apparently Sam was the illegitimate daughter of Elias Jr. and Patricia Christensen. Patricia, the daughter of a local street mogul, and Eli Jr. harboured a secret romance at age 16. She became pregnant, and after the birth, her father refused to let her see Eli Jr. ever again. Her baby, Samantha, was sent to the Roottrees. Elias hid her away with a local farmhand known as EC. Patricia was married off to a much older man and sent away. That was the end. Almost. None of the next gens had ever met or heard of Patricia until she unexpectedly reappeared, now going by Patsy. After Patsy's husband died, she reunited with Eli Jr. and they finally remarried in their 50s. Lauren mentioned the wedding in her first diary without knowing Patsy's history. Eli Jr. had never taken another lover. Lauren, ever the romantic, quite appreciated this. When Patsy and Eli Jr. finally married, Elias decided Sam should have been a Rootree in the first place, even though she was not part of the clan's trust. He wanted to include her in family affairs. That was what led to Lauren's initial entry entitled Sam. This is a page of additional notes and context from 1975 10-year diary re-release, companion piece to the entry about Sam. Clearly, I did not know her true family history when I wrote this. I didn't even know Sam was a Rootree. All of my doubts were ill-founded. She's a fine woman. Had she the chance to grow up with us, Sam might have been the sister figure Gwen never was. Ernie and her kids are lucky to have her, and her children seem eager to help the family in their own ways. Ernie Jr. has been learning the day-to-day from Zach. It's been a long time since any real Rootree was as excited and interested in the actual candy as Ernie. As a bonus, Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother and her adopted grandfather. What I'm most ashamed of is not figuring it all out myself. Sam's a spitting image of Patsy with her jet black hair and green eyes. She doesn't have the thick glasses Patsy did, of course, but I guess that skips a generation. Her children have that covered. It's hard to explain the look on Pop's face when they read that the farm's operations would pass to Samantha Rootree for as long as she was willing. I got flashbacks to when Zach was made president. Mother reframed it a bit to calm him down. Sam wouldn't receive any candy money after all, and was essentially inheriting the right to rule over the peasants for eternity. Pop warned us away from that farm for years. I never met EC in person. Pop once referred to him as a confirmed bachelor. I suspect that's why he kept us from there. Sam had grown up in a house with him and his roommate Mr. Miller. I'm not sure Sam will ever forgive Uncle Junior or Patsy for abandoning her to that life. If I were her, I would never forgive them either, but even so, she seems to blame more than just the two of them. She has no problems with us next gen. She has a palpable hatred for the 5Pieces and Elias and Gwyneth. Good grief. Right, okay, so reading this back I get deja vu. As I write this addendum, Clark's gotten remarried again. No Rootree has ever remarried. Sure, I lost Jacob and Gwen divorced Wild Bill. Let's go with that. Fuck, what's Bill short for? In fact, I'm just going to look him up. Is it Wild Bill? Fuck. Who's Wild Bill? Let's look up Gwen Rootree. Because it was the films, wasn't it? Harrison Lane, nope. Christmas Mission? Fuck, who's Wild Bill? That's gonna be a bastard to find, isn't it? Shit. Okay, no. What the fuck is Bill short for? Bilchard? Nah. Fuck. She had her second, not even I can blame her for that. I've seen what he gets up to in Starlit, but neither of us ever took a second husband. With the way the world's moving, I guess it's inevitable someone in the family would remarry. I just wish it wasn't my son. I can only wonder if Clark's apparent disrespect for marriage is due to the lack of a real father. I did what I could, and Lord knows Eli C. stepped up and helped more than I can say for Clancy or Edward. Eli C. practically raised Clark and Jim as brothers. So this is Eli. That's Clancy. And Edward is the other one. Fuck, there's Clancy, Edward, and then there's just Edward. I'm guessing this is Clancy Edward, who named his son Clancy Jr. and Edward, I think. Eli C. Bradley. So Eli's marriage seems fine and Jim's marriage seems solid as a rock. Pun intended. So who knows what causes these things? Suspect that he's marrying Jane to keep her from running out on the band. Without her, he'd be the third wheel, and I imagine they wouldn't last long as a trio. Still, I don't think a marriage on such a shaky foundation like that can last. Lord knows I was right last time. So Jane. Let's... Wait, Jane LaRue and Diamond LaRue? What? Okay. What if I take... Who's Jane LaRue then? Jane Delvecchio is listed as a talent for hire site as a wedding singer. Way down in the credentials section of her biography, it means she got her start as a young girl when she was Jane LaRue of the Lucky LaRues. Also mentions to only contact her agent in the event you actually wish to hire her. Any all inquiries about her past or her sister. Okay, so the Lucky LaRues don't have their own thing. Bugger. Okay, so there is a weird split there. Okay. Next up, names. The biggest complaint I got after publishing my diary was how many similar names there are. I get it, there are 4 Elis for Pete's sake, but that's how it is. Someone would say, I saw Eli in town, I wouldn't know which one they meant. My brother, my uncle, my cousin. That's why they became Uncle Junior, Miracles Eli, or Eli C. Our family names were always unusual. Grandpa Elias was a believer in using the names of each generation to honour those in the last. His father and Grandma Gwyneth's father were named Edward and Clancy. So, okay, so he became Edward Clancy. Okay, so we're right on that front. One thing that's always been consistent in our family is that anytime someone's a junior, they're always the firstborn son. That goes for Miracle, Eli, or even Clancy. With the women, however, it all goes out the window. I think Gwendolyn got her name for some combination of Gwyneth and Caroline, who was Elias's mother. Women's names tend to get mixed up as all the generations went on. I guess that's because there's no female equivalent to Junior. Okay. So this is a fun bonus rather than a companion entry. Apparently this is the first thing she could find that she ever wrote. She knows it was for a school assignment about anger. She believes, based on the teacher's name, she must have been in the 3rd grade. She doesn't exactly remember the events spelled out. She does remember getting in trouble. I got angry when I met a new girl who I do not like. She was dirty and did not have a pretty dress. Me and Pop walked home in town and she hugged him. Sorry. I got angry when I met a new girl who I didn't like. She was dirty, didn't have a pretty dress. Me and Pop walked home in town. She hugged him. When I told her he was my Pop, she pushed me. I got angry and yelled at her, and Pop said to treat her nice. Then she said, Fucking what? Then she said, your Pop is my dad. She screamed it loud in my ear. She was lying to me, and lying's not a nice thing. So I pushed her too. Then I got in trouble. Then Pop took her away. He told me, don't worry, I'm glad she's gone. Is this the whole Sam thing, I guess? Okay. Right. That is good. Oh, I've got a cat on my feet. Okay, where is... I wonder which one of these is Clark. It would be good to be able to identify that, but I'm not 100% sure. And I think there is one... there's one person I still need to look up. Not that list. This list. Miracle Jr. Miracle Jr. doesn't go by his full name in promotional materials. Instead, he shortened it to Miracle Jr. I'm guessing Miracle Jr. Roottrees. Miracle Jr. is a televangelist who is part of the Miracle Network. He used to have a show that aired on local access across many stations in the northeastern United States. According to a website called Clergy Watch, he was exposed and subsequently charged with conspiracy to defraud the public in 1979 when he claimed to heal someone in a wheelchair. A news expose revealed it was his wife Edith's sister in disguise. The author also mentioned that Edith had a bit of a checkered past herself but doesn't clarify. He's since lost his television show and instead goes on tour across the southern United States where he was not well known before the scandal. Okay, let's go to the Miracle Network. I've just realised, based on the notable people here, there's nobody notable on this side. All of the notes, so this must be Miracle Jr., right? And I'm guessing this is Miracle Senior? And oh my god, there's a Miracle Third. A Miracle Third, what the fuck? Witness the Power of the Lord in the Summer of 96, 3 Generations of Miracles Tour. Featuring testimony from world-famous Miracle Jr., special appearance from Miracle Roottrees in his 68th year on God's earth. Children, now welcome. Celebrate with your pastor, Miracle Third, and his wife, Nicole. Jesus. Miracle Jr. is said to be world famous, gets top billing. Miracle Jr. is on the notable Roottrees list, marked with a star. Miracle Roottrees, the flyer says, will make a special appearance, as in older. Miracle Third is younger. Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. We will get fucking Miracle cunts. Wait, what? Huh. Oh no, you can select any. Okay. Yeah, go on. Fucking Miracle Third. Miracle Third. I'm guessing a preacher. Also a preacher. And this is... We've not yet got his one. We know that this guy has a wife called Nicole, but we don't know if it's Nicole Smith or Madsen. Okay. Miracle Roottrees arrived so late in his mother's life that doctors swore he wouldn't survive his first year. His mother and father, Elias and Gwyneth, named him Miracle because they thought him impossible. He's younger than his brothers and sisters by over 14 years. With a birth that late, the final child of his generation was nearly torn apart by countless health problems. Still, with the power of God on his side, he persevered, he triumphed over the complications, even regained his sight to spread the healing word of the Almighty. 23 years later, Miracle Roottrees Jr. arrived, became the famous family's second vessel for the higher power. 18, he unburdened himself from the Roottrees name, took his father's testimony to a whole new level via the power of television. Miracle Jr. spread the gospel across the entirety of New England, since left the life of glamour and glitz behind to reach those places that need it most. Power of the Lord coming to a town near you, blows a flyer. So Miracle was also a preacher, fucking hell. So he's the son of a preacher, and he's the son of a preacher. Right, we've got the... Where's the 5? So he'll be the youngest. Says the boy with the eye patch. Yar. Nice. Fucking let's go. 3 entries are correct and been unlocked. Boom, boom, boom. To be honest, that's the easy ones. So I feel like an idiot now. But we unlocked a couple of optional entries, which is nice. So we also have... Fuck, all these people look the same. That one smiling. The creepy guy who's smiling is also this guy. There we go. We don't know who these boys are. We need to find out who Bill is. I still don't know how I've not got these right. I think maybe musician is wrong for him. I think that is Candy though. That being said, she could easily be... Yeah, I don't know who that is. Fuck. Okay, let's maybe try and nail down Margolite. I mean, we could kind of look at age here. I wonder if there's a... Where are we? It's quite hard to tell the age. Wait, hold on. The mother of Gwyn had the same blonde hair as her. I don't know who she married. And then the eldest is her. I feel kind of bad about putting, it's, you know, sign of the times, but like a lot of the women are housewives apparently. So Miracle was there. Angie and I both wanted to be in the photo since Miracle was in it. The three of us were all about the same age. Ah, okay. Pop even had it framed. That's him on the left. I keep on forgetting who the fucking kids are. No. Because it's the five. What's the five? Okay, this is one thing I don't quite get. It says that the Roottrees 5 pieces were named after the initials. But there's not like a Miracle one there. The ad also mentions the current 5 flavours aren't... the current 5 flavours are not the same as back then. Okay, so let's have a look at 5 pieces. Okay, from market materials, various candy history sites, you learn that 5 pieces is the iconic candy sold by the Roottrees Candy Company. No longer the company's only popular product, they still sell well. They've got maple leaf. They usually have one flavour that looks more like a berry. Tastes have changed over the years. The 5 flavours, shape and combinations remained consistent. History of print advertising website. Now, I know that... Okay, there's nothing there, but we'll look up the Sweet History of Candy by Charles Lee. Let's go there, and Charles Lee. And we can get the newspaper ad for the 5 pieces, which should... G is for grape, E is for elderberry, CE is for cinnamon extract, M is for melon. And introducing M for miracle berry. What the fuck? Okay, so that's the names. I'm gonna make a quick note of these. So we've got G, we've got E, we've got CE, we've got M, and we've got MB, I guess. Cool. So back on here, unknown name, looking at my notes. Let's look at the Roottrees. So there's an Elias. There's a... We've got Clancy Edward already on here, right? Clancy Edward's this lad. Who could be... Who's this guy, specifically. We've then got... Who's... M? Margolite, which we've got. We've got Miracle. So Gwendolyn will be her. And then we've got, what, an Elias? Ah, fuck, which one was it? Must be Elias Jr., actually, first son. So that'll be him there. Have we got yeah, we've got photos for all of them, that's fine. And then we've got the... sorry, I'm flicking through all my fucking stuff. There we go. We are... Nope. We are going to... Life Between Wars... Dynasty... Architects, Preachers and Lawyers. There was the, there was the Clanced Trust. Clanced, even. The Clanced Trust. Named after Clancy Edward Roottrees, who was Elias's son, and the Roottrees Candy Company's head lawyer. So we've got a lawyer. Amazing. Stunning. Perfect. Cool. We also unlocked the second photo for that wee guy.
You're listening to
Oh, what's going on here?
It's time for your headlines. Once an hour, every hour, on the 45. It's a bizarre development to an already tragic tale. In the wake of
Oh, there's more.
his life, some of Carl Roottrees' belongings have apparently gone missing. Most notably, a framed photo of the Roottrees family from the mid-1970s that Carl had on his office wall. We interviewed a local psychologist.
I'm guessing that's how we got the photo.
Search online for WRTD News. Again, that's WRTD.
Looks like we're looking up WRTD. Let's go. It's your local investigative jazz radio station during the news segments, 45 minutes on the hour. They've been talking about the plane crash. They also talked about a picture taken from Carl's office. During the interview, it was revealed there wasn't a break-in. Instead, someone with a key to the office took the picture after discovering the pipes burst due to the recent storm. It means it was likely someone close to the family who was aware of the photo's history, wanted to save it. Psychologist, however, also goes on to posit that the culprit had an alternate agenda, specifically because nobody in the family's come forward to say they have it in their possession. Comment below the article says, "Don't believe their lies. This is just another instance of the Roottrees curse being a real thing. I bet you Carl was murdered and the picture had evidence of it." I'm gonna see what that is. A long rambly conspiracy website with very small, very red text on a black background that says the Roottrees are cursed. There's a very important update with the following. With Carl and Brenda and the girls, that makes 5 new deaths. Not only that, but 3 of the 5 presidents of the Roottrees company have died mysteriously. They say Guy's car was hit by a drunk driver in 1982. Nobody was arrested. Then Ernie Madison Jr. stepped down. Was he poisoned? Now, this week, Carl died in a plane crash. This cannot be a coincidence. Another entry that claims if you connect the dots in a pattern of the 5Pieces wrapper, it creates a Mayan ruby skull, a secret message meant to subliminally scare people away. Post before that is a link to a site that talks about how Earth has 4 corner simultaneous 4D time cubes. The author of this site seems to agree. An entry from a few months ago claims the owner of the site received an email from Chris Raff 75 at prodigy.us asking him to take down his site with faked proof that Ernie Madison Jr. actually had a heart condition and wasn't poisoned. The owner claims that although the proof looks quite credible, he knows that the proof was fake because he's an expert at creating fake evidence. First entries from 1996 has a blurry picture of the Rootree Candy Company factory, seemingly taken by the website's author from behind a fence and through some trees. It seems that Operation RT29 is real. What's that? You find more conspiracy sites. Some people out there claim that the Roottrees are changing the candy recipe to include more and more chemicals. This was done in cooperation with bad actors from an unknown government. They claim that due to a loop, I'm wondering, is this all red herring shit? Like, is this a joke? It's possible to get away with nearly any crime on a leap day so long as it isn't discovered until after the day is over, and that every 4 years on a leap year, the Rootree Company hosts a meeting with foreign agents to conspire to poison our children. Proof is that Rootree candies contain polyglycerol polyrinsylate, an ingredient of the candy that wasn't there when it first released. They claimed it's added in an attempt to addict people and eventually induce mind control. Website claims to sell pills that counteract this effect for children. I've already eaten Rootree candy in the past. You do an additional search for polyglycerol polyrinsylate. Appears to be an emulsifier in chocolates approved by the FDA and widely used across many products. Fuck's sake. You can make it up. I realise now that I haven't actually looked at... Oh, it's just news alert. Okay, never mind. Right, so... that means he's the architect, I think. Now, we don't know much about Gwendolyn's life at all. Maybe we look her up? If I can spell the name right, Gwendolyn Rootree. Nothing. Nothing. Bit weird. Rootree Clancy Jr. Maybe look him up. I'm wondering if we ran out of Clancy Jr. Nothing. Is there any more on Carl? There's nothing on his parents. Edward Rootree, Elias. I mean, I imagine tons of that'll be in like Lauren's journal. Okay, where am I going? What am I doing? Going back to this, so it would be nice to know. Right, these two fucks. Candy Rootree. Is there a search available for her? Why does no one have social media? Because 1998. Don't think there's anything here. But we'll go with there. And we'll go to the Floozies and we'll see all-female punk band. They're cagey about their identities. Selling CDs. She bought a copy. There's Beef Baby, the 7th track. Conquista Bore. Which is that. You've got Candy, Nikki, and Nina. Okay, so that's got to be, you know, that's a good one. I think we've got this. Okay, so anger doesn't have one anymore. Okay, so there's clues on these ones. So the scandal. Sam was the illegitimate daughter of Elias Jr. and Patricia Christensen. Now, so is this Sam? Yeah, that makes sense actually. So Samantha Roottrees there. And Patricia Christensen goes there. I don't know who the Zach folk are. Is Zach maybe over here? Like, we don't really hear much about, like, Miracle's family. Her father refused to let her see her. Baby Samantha was sent to the Roottrees. Elias hid her away with a local farmhand. Patricia was married off. Then they reappeared. Patsy and Eli Jr. finally married. Elias decided Sam should have a Roottree. She was not part of the clan Sid's trust. Okay, that's fine. Sam was a Roottree. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her. Who the fuck is Ernie? I don't know EC. Nah. Clark's getting married. Gwyn divorced Wild Bill. Bill's Richard, isn't it? No! What the fuck? Who the fuck is Wild Bill? I thought, is Bill not Richard? Okay, we know that that's her sons. Okay, we'll have a look at these photos. I wish it was in order here. Yeah, so we've got Carl the teenager in the middle, which is fine. Clark. Is Clark around the same age? Yeah. Clark's around the same age here. I'm guessing he's him? We're gonna give it a go. And is he a musician as well? I think he's a musician as well. And that's the extra photo there. Which one's Jim? Really hard to tell. Large number of cursive signatures. Bonnie, next President Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Gwyneth M., Gwendolyn. Ah, fuck, man. Lauren's diary contains some label pictures. This is the next generation. I wanted Eli to stand all the way on the left, since he looked more like what Dad did. So that's... there, I think. Outvoted by my brothers. Ah, wait, hold on. There is an Eli somewhere here that I have fucking lost. He insisted the four of us stand together. So that's her there. The four of us stand together. So we've got... Who is that? Miracle? Who the fuck's that? Which miracle is that? Maybe a bit older? Followed by that? Yeah, I think that's the case. I think. Edward Clancy. No, so we've got Clancy Jr., this cunt, and Edward. That looks right. Only problem is I don't know these guys' jobs. And this is Zach? Grandma insisted we include Sam. Even if we didn't want to, none of us understood why. Also didn't think a fair miracle made it in. Oh no, so that's... Okay. Yeah, so that's Miracle and that's him with Miracle Jr. Yep. Then we've got... I think that's looking okay, for the most part. I have no idea where this guy goes. But we need to maybe look at the Life Between Wars Dynasty piece. So 5Pieces refusing to step up, came down to us next gen's pop, argued at length that the company should stay with our branch of the family. Not even sure Clancy would have wanted it, he's the one who was volunteered. Instead it ended up going to Zach, even though his surname doesn't match the candy. He's the firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. So that is Zach, Uriah. Oh. So he must be... Shit, there is a Zach. There's a Morden. I've seen the Morden name somewhere. But there's a Gwendolyn Morden as well. Oh, fuck. Okay, I think this is Zachariah Morden. And he is the third president. I think. Yeah, because first president, second... No, he would have been second president because it skipped a generation. I think. Even though his surname doesn't match the candy, he's the firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. Not sure how that's relevant to running a company. Ask Clancy if it ever came up that a woman could take over, and after all, Angie's older than Zach. Who the fuck is Angie? So, no, that's Angelica Morden there. Zach's on this side. And he was the second president. I think. He laughed. Never forget the cuss words Pop used when he told Matt it wouldn't go to us. Looks like he sambles the product. Ha ha ha. Sam. Why Sam? Many distant relatives. I've Granny had 2 sisters. Blah blah blah. Zach's office. Who is Angie though? Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother, even chimed in. Okay, so we've got another Eli on this side. Is he Elias C or is he Elias M? He might be Elias M. Or not. I don't know. There'll be a way to verify that, but I'll keep it as it is just now. So Mr. Morden, who's there with Aunt Gwendolyn. Okay. That's the huge one, which sucks. This is... So Gwen wasn't there. Sam... Is Sam the ginger one or the dark-haired one? Unless that's Angelica and Sam's pushed away in the background. I can't imagine she'd be at the forefront if she was like kind of brought in. So I'm going to go with this is Sam and this is Angelica. And from a Morden perspective, it'll be James Morden. Hard to know what the jobs are for these people. Life between wars. Let's quickly scan. Clancy told me that everyone got heated. So what were the jobs? Clark said that they all held like intellectual jobs, I'm pretty sure. Our generation was never so bad, but my brothers all seemed to pursue paths of knowledge. The most rebellious thing any of us ever did was bring home someone who would be illegal to marry if we lived anywhere south of Pennsylvania. Pop seems to have gotten over it because Edward is set to take over his department once he retires. So Edward is a lawyer. Nice. So we've got 15 of 50 blood relatives. We've nailed Edward Roottrees, Elias Jr. and Zachariah Morden. We also got a bunch of additional stuff. So that's all of the pictures. James Morden, Patricia Christensen. Nice. Oh, we have a phone call. Oh.
So, you may have heard the news. Some of Carl's things have gone missing. That includes the pictures and mail I brought you earlier. I promise I didn't steal it, but I did borrow it.
Okay.
Return it once we're done. Let me deal with my family.
My family.
Oh, I guess that means I've officially confessed.
Yes.
I'm a Roottrees. I assure
Which
you
one?
I have a reasonable explanation for the secrecy. I'm about to do something big the family doesn't approve of. If you could just wait a little bit longer.
I'll return after 15 more blood relatives. Fuck. Okay, so we've got a phone call. Yeah, very good. Okay, so knowing what we know, apparently there is 11 things in this campaign mailer. That's going to be a tough. Like Stephanie Joe's, yeah, that's going to take a wee while. Jim and Dan, well, there's 6 things on this. Such a product of its time. Images from an auction for a sealed copy is a sticker that says only the great grandson of Elias Roottrees could make disco this sweet. Peter Janowitz from MMM. You can look up MMM maybe. Seems to be a music critic. You find a mention on a fan website of a band unrelated to the Roottrees. Used to work for Modern Music Monthly. Let's see what's going on there. New periodical added. Let's go. Displayed host to many Roottrees advertisements over the years for many of their products, including 5Pieces. They flood the results. Okay. Titled A Reluctant Hitmaker, Jim goes into his first band. Until a few years ago, Diamond and I were in a C and G plus G and D with my cousin and his ex. Clark never knew his father, so our grandpop insisted he spend time with my dad and me. As a result, Clark and I grew up like brothers. Diamond and Jane, on the other hand, are actually sisters, so the 4 of us had sort of a cutesy family band thing going on. Not our finest hour. Regardless, when Diamond walked in on Clark in bed with her youngest sister, everything exploded. No more family band. Only thing Clark and I had in common was music, but even then we never agreed on what it should be. He was always more interested in catchy tunes, something you hum a week later. I've been told Rollin' is like that, but that wasn't my goal. When he called me and said he liked it, I took it as a sign I'm going in the wrong direction musically. That made him laugh, but I was trying to make art. I don't mind saying any of this because he'd agree. For most of the decade he was a mess, but he's a lot happier now. Started AyeforTunes. I'm going to copy this to a note just now, just so I can finish reading this. I will delete that note. Yeah, I can delete that note now. And AyeforTunes. I feel like I know enough about the Clansed Trust, I can remove that. And that's pretty sorted. And so is this one. Cool, I can clear up some notes. Nice. Much better jingle writer than songwriter. One of the benefits of our famous family is a massive company willing to be a client. That's also how my father was connected to Roottrees. All of his old ad campaigns were hung on the walls over the record player. I was never interested, I just went straight for the music. I guess Clark was paying more attention. All of his old ad campaigns were hung on the walls over the record player. So, his dad was a marketing media mogul, maybe? I don't know about that. I don't know how. Nah. Nah. Public speaker. Advertising. Duh. Okay. And sound. So we will look up AyeforTunes. Website about AyeforTunes. Clark Rafferty LaRue's advertising firm. On is an about page and you will find a picture labelled the inspiration for the famous Super Bowl ad campaign. Below that is more detail. Clark was in a department store getting a family portrait with his wife and children. When his wife was trying to get his youngest Katrina to calm down for the picture, he had the idea for the Roottrees Super Bowl ad. The photo is now in your evidence. The Roottrees Maple Super Bowl commercial from 1994 has a family bickering in a department store and the father bites into a Roottrees Maple Crisp. Time stops and jingle plays while he dances down the aisle. As he does, different things in the department store become Roottrees candy. For example, a bed that the father collapses in onto becomes a giant chocolate bar. The jingle Need the Rest went on to be featured in commercials with other scenarios. When you're surrounded by madness and mayhem, reach for the best. There's enough there to share, but let's face it, you need the rest. Ho ho. Okay. Clark was in a department store getting a family portrait with his wife and children, while his wife was trying to get Katrina to calm down. So, Clark is aged. And he was trying to get his wife and youngest Katrina? I'm guessing that's the that's the youngest. So that's Katrina Rafferty LaRue, who is a child. I mean, I'm guessing she's in school? What the fuck is K-12? I'm guessing that's high school, primary school. Fucking K-12 Americanisms. And then we'll put her sister next to her, and we'll put Katrina there. No, that's not his wife. Katrina is the youngest daughter. Mixed in with the recent news of the plane crash, there's a lot of results. For reasons that aren't explained on the page, it has no CEO and no stockholders. Instead, it's run by a president. The site doesn't mention that every president has been a direct descendant of Elias and Gwyneth, including Carl Roottrees. Okay. Let's go back to the Jim Roottrees interview. Anything here that's valid? I don't think this will show up anything. Oh my god, it will. Never mind. Band called C&G and G&D released one single called These Times. Someone with the username XXX Diehard Dazzler scanned the cover and noted that it cost him over $200 at auction. Jim Roottrees and Diamond LaRue's first song together. He also mentions it was performed with Jim's cousin and Diamond's sister, and that it was only somewhat similar to Jim and Diamond's later works. After a blazing fast 35-minute download, the track's available. Wonderful. When you say the track's available, does that mean I can like look this up? Does it show? Don't think so. Never mind. Unless it's in the evidence. Oh, it is. Hey, nice. The lyrics of this song contain no clues. Nice. The website also listed the song's credits as music and lyrics by Clark Rafferty and Jim Roottrees, backup vocals by the LaRues. One of the stickers says folk style songwriting catchy. So who's who? So she's blonde there. There's only one blonde woman, I'm guessing. I'm gonna go with the bearded guy as James. I think he is a musician, so that should still track. I still do not know Clancy Jr.'s thing. We don't know what Angelica's job is. And we can put her down here. And we can't put his thing in yet. I don't know if this just repeats or not. It does say it doesn't contain any clues, so I think we're fine. Oh, that's interesting. So, like, what, these don't contain any other clues? This apparently contains sex, which I'm guessing if I follow the route, maybe. Radical new flavours, it's no longer the 1920s. Okay, yeah, got you. Okay, no, I am going to find a way to stop this, because it's loud and distracting me. Oh, cool, you can sort by the text items and stuff. Okay, back to kind of slightly more chill, more detective-y stuff. I feel like we're not far enough down that piece. Dynasty focuses on the day her grandfather announced he'd stepped down. Yep. I mean, there must be something on, was it Zach Morden? Zachariah, maybe? Zachariah Morden. You're joking, right? Okay, nothing from them. In an article from 1968, you find a small section focusing on young and upcoming talent. And there's this thing to say about the LaRues. LaRues got their start doing session work for their great uncle's record label. If you remember any songs from 1960 to 1965 featured the voices of kids, they were probably involved. Credited as the Lucky LaRues. Now that he's passed, they've moved on to bigger and better ventures and are going by their full names. Diamond and Jane have been touring with some famous faces. Ever heard of the Roottrees? And are looking to release an album sometime in the next year. Youngest Kim is about to step into a prominent role on Broadway, taking over from one of the children in Oliver. I mean, that's good and all, but it doesn't really fucking help. Except there is a Kim LaRue. Why did I get this horrible... hang on. Where... fuck. Diamond walked in on Clark in bed with her youngest sister. Fucking Clark, the mad shagger, I'm guessing he's married to Kim LaRue. Possibly. So I'm confused here. So Clark Rafferty heads down this path. So I'm guessing Jane goes this path? Or is this kids? I'm guessing this is kids? Don't know. Fuck. I feel like I know nothing about this side of the family tree at all. And Samantha becomes... Is she a farmer? No. She did work on the farm though. No. Clancy Jr. It's got to be somewhere in Lauren's notes, right? So we've got Scandal. Sam was the illegitimate daughter of Elias Jr. and Patricia Christensen, daughter of a local street mogul. Her baby Samantha was sent to the Roottrees. Elias hid her away, a local farmhand known as EC. Next gens had never heard of Patricia until she unexpectedly reappeared, going by Patsy. Elias decided Sam should have been a Roottree. Nope, okay. Sam was a Roottrie, all my thoughts were whatever. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her. So who the fuck is... Where does Ernie sit here? Wait, Ernie... It's been a long time since any real Roottree was as interested and excited in the actual candy as Ernie. As a bonus, Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother. So there's a split up and then there's an adoption. Gonna see if Ernie Jr. shows up anyway. Former president of the Roottrie Company, he seemed to directly precede Carl Roottrie. One website says he was Carl's mentor. He was apparently very successful as president, not so much as a public figure. Will it say anything about them here? Not really. Who does Ernie Jr. fucking belong to? That's the issue. I feel like I've got her placed wrong. Gwyn Roottree. It'd be good to get names for Gwyn's children, but I don't know if they're anywhere. Publicised divorce. What if I type in Gwyn Roottree divorce? Fuck. Keep on spelling her fucking name wrong. Wild Bill Williams. Okay. Why? There's no one called fucking Williams. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, there we go, fuck. Wild Bill Williams was the leading man of some non-notable movies in the 1950s. He appeared in an adventure movie called Fortune Favours the Grave, which has yet to be released for home audiences. You don't find any information about that film. He was known for his good looks and off-screen romances, specifically with blondes. He was married 4 different times to 4 different actresses. There's a famous Hollywood rumour that he even approached Marilyn Monroe at a party and that she was already aware of his reputation. He grew up in Paris, France, and returned there often. That doesn't fucking help anything. But that's them in Paris. Alright, that's a challenge. Bonnie, next president Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Caroline, Gwyneth, Miracle Jr., Jim, Clark, Carl, and Eli. We've explored all that and that. There is 11 things here. I suppose we could look up Stephanie Jones. See what her deal is. She won her campaign on election day. No mention of the Roottrees. Very bare bones website for her campaign. The Butler County Times. Let's go. Okay, let's check out the periodical for that. And we'll go with Jim Rootree. Only article you find, 1979, former Butler County resident enters disco charts. Isn't much to mention in the article. They have a 2-year-old daughter they named Candy. Oh fuck, did I just get the order wrong? Bastard. Totally did, eh? Why is there not more option? Oh, there is. Okay, so if you put something in, it like filters it down. So, right, she's Candy. She is a musician. Can't believe I've, fuck's sake. Three entries correct, and I've unlocked Rootree Elias C, Rootree Candy, and Rafferty LaRue Katrina. Nice. And I got a bunch of the photos correct as well. Nice. We'll take it as a win. We'll also add in Wolf here, just because we can. Where are you, Wolf? There you are. Wolf, who is... I don't know why I have him down as a musician. Don't know Edwards. Writer of the article did not seem thrilled to report this fact and called the name a bit too on the nose. Okay. Let's just go with General Rootree. Okay, they flood the results. Let's go with Eli Jr. Rootree? Eli Jr.? No. Maybe Gwen? I don't know if that would be of interest. She was not a resident of Butler County for long. Okay. Just thinking who else I can search. Maybe Clancy Jr. Nope, fuck you. Could maybe look up Clark Rafferty. No, you're killing me over here. Is there a Samantha Rootree? Okay, I feel like I'm just spamming the periodical lookup. But we will, actually, we need to look up the Stephanie Jones. Most recent mention of Stephanie Jones, small report detailing the election results. Stephanie Jones, born Stephanie Landon until her marriage to local business owner Brian Jones, has lived in Butler County her whole life. She grew up in a home without a father. With my mother and her partner, I essentially had an entirely female influence. Though she's a distant cousin of the Rootrees, her mother Caroline, a local artist, who's appeared. Okay. So there is Caroline Landon that we need to look up. Often come out opposed to corporations' policies regarding deforestation of indigenous trees to expand their maple farms. Unlike my mother, I'm not a fighter. I want to bring love to the world. Great. So let's go with Caroline Landon. Fuck off. What? Stephen... Caroline? Really? Can I not... Caroline? Yeah, great. So... Shit. Nah. I'm not sure about that one at all. I was hoping to get one more down, but I think I'm gonna have to leave it till next time, folks. Yeah, I will. Right, okay, thank you very much for that. We got a couple more down. What was it, 21 out of 33? That's before the person who hired returns. But we've made some good progress there. We're slowly filling up this thing. I'm having a great time with it. But I will continue it next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.